instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, gang? Welcome back to Other Dangerous Podcast, where we talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Ken has zero chill.
Hey, folks. And if it can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight's episode, the hoods are up for Amityville Horror.
Fake.
Oh, wait, what?
I don't know. I think we got news to take care of before we get to that.
Well,
bullshit.
before we get into that, I'm going to send it over to Jay for tonight's jump scare.
Oh yeah, thanks, Ken. Another anonymous submission.
I like
Weird.
this.
This is 2 in a row. Anonymous guy says, my biological dad lives in a creepy old farmhouse he renovated. I was helping him build out the office late one night. He went to the bathroom and I was plunking away.
Yeah.
Okay. I was on the floor and set my hammer down. I felt something. A presence. And looked to where I thought someone would be. Nothing. I reached back down for my hammer and it's out of arm's reach, maybe 5 feet further than where I had set it down. It hadn't moved at all. I hadn't moved at all. He comes back after he's finished and I tell him what had just happened. He laughed and said, that's the little girl must be playing with you. Little girl? What? He then tells me that every now and then he hears a little girl laughing and has even seen her.
Oh.
She's always wearing the same pair of overalls and she just kind of wanders around the upstairs. I'm not one to believe in paranormal experiences, but I have no explanation other than that a little girl ghost just wanted to play.
You know what? A guy that taught me a lot about gardening and things was a guy who was a training manager. His name was Jim Godding.
Okay.
He was so well traveled. He was one of the first writers for Scientology. He was one of the editors on
Dianetics?
What was the John Travolta book they made a movie?
Oh Christ.
God, what was that called?
It's so bad. I've removed it.
He was one of the editors on that book,
okay.
And he taught me a lot. He was a great guy. He was an old cowboy, and you'll never, that he passed away a couple years back.
Okay. Did he like stew?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
But he used to tell us that he had a little ghost girl, and always be like, God damn it, the ghost girl was moving my hedgers and my shears, and he would always tell us about it. And he had a ghost cat. He'd be like, the ghost cat. He would tell us about it, and guy was awesome. But I miss him, Jim Godding, one of a kind, man. But the ghost girl moving stuff and hammers brought me right back to Jim telling me those things. So I appreciate that.
We've talked about this before, right? You've got these. Well, but we talked about the renovations, right? That occurs. I bring back my house that we're sitting at right now.
Yeah.
As soon as we started fucking with shit is when it started up. You start renovating places that has history or has, angry ghosts attached.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge. It's just what they say.
Or when you record a podcast in a bedroom that has a haunted closet in it, that'll kick up dust too, right?
Last time it sure did. It fucking sure did.
They didn't like my voice, I think is what it was. They
didn't like your spaceship panic attack, I can tell you that. They're like, what the fuck is he talking? Get him out of here! No,
that's good.
I do like that though, because it's like you're fucking with the area, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe maybe it's like after you pass on, like the fucking seagulls.
Some fans. They're just some fans.
They are
wild fans just flying by.
Yep, that seagull just.
We know Other Dangerous Podcast.
We'll sign it after.
Let's leave it
Yeah.
here.
Maybe that's what it is, man. Maybe the space that you inhabit becomes like sacred to you after death.
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, you got to think there's a reason that like the Egyptians put all their organs in a thing to the side.
Please don't get me on the topic of Egyptians.
Oh, okay, I'm
That's
sorry.
one of my deep dive
Right.
topics.
Okay, we'll skip that. Anyway,
Let's
you
skip
got to
that.
think that, like, your home is your palace, right?
Yeah. Oh, I just mean that it's like you die there and something happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you forget your copy of the handbook for the recently deceased, and then everyone's just like,
Then Otho comes in causing all kinds of shit.
exactly. He doesn't really know what he's doing.
Right.
He's a hack.
Right. Most of them are.
Yeah.
Almost all.
Yeah. I mean,
Besides
I
us.
think
We're not hacks.
I was going to say we're definitely in that category.
No.
We're not?
No.
Okay.
No. Because we never go, this is exactly it.
Good point.
We don't ever go, oh, it's your wife.
like it.
I see her.
There's a man hanging.
We don't do that.
Okay.
We don't
Okay.
go, don't talk to me like that. You don't get to talk to me like that.
Okay.
I'm arguing with a ghost right now.
Yeah.
We don't do that. So we're not.
We sure don't.
Yeah.
Not
We
like you
should-
just did it right now.
We should start.
What, like going to like
Yeah.
supposedly haunted locations, acting
dude,
like total fucking dick tips?
We would be millionaires in a week if we converted and we were like, guess what, guys? We've been lying this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We see ghosts. We know ghosts. We talk to them.
If it means I get a beachside palace
St. Pete Beach.
at St. Pete Beach, then I'm in.
All right, we'll do we'll anyone out there who wants us to start doing psychic investigations, any of the listeners, let us know, and we'll
Nobody
convert.
wants us in their house. I can guarantee you that.
I'm a delight. Maybe you'll start questioning their sconce choices, right? No.
All right, I'll take that as a personal attack, but okay.
Hey man, I gotta throw a little shade where
It's
I
all
can.
good. It's all good.
But this just in, across the Other Dangerous Podcast news desk,
haunted headline
we have
time.
more haunted headlines.
Haunted headline.
What do you got, pal?
Well, this one, the headline is, sounds bizarre, but this woman is seriously scared of aliens after 9 UFO sightings. The picture's wonderful. Oh, that's a good one. All right, so do you believe in aliens? Do you think life not originated on Earth may occur outside the blue planet? Well, some people do. Now and then, people have come up with outrageous theories related to their so-called encounters with extraterrestrial life. Recently, a woman has claimed that she has seen several unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and now she is too scared to leave the house.
Did you see Stu?
No, I
You
didn't know.
fucking said
Stu, no.
Stu.
But now she's too scared to leave the house because of her UFO sightings. As per report by UK-based tabloid The Mirror, the 51-year-old Sasha Christie fears that she may be abducted by aliens. As quoted by the website, Sasha says, "It's very hard to explain my encounters, as it's hard for me to believe what I've seen. I spent my whole life trying to think of other scenarios of things that it could be, but the only conclusion that it's another life form and it's UFOs." She added that looking at the sky, it scares me, as I don't know what I'm going to see next. The report added that Christie's a stay-at-home mother from Liverpool, Merseyside. She has seen lights flying across the sky. She claimed that those were UFOs. She even had a joint encounter with some friends while on holiday in Wales in 1997. Now she apparently suffers from PTSD due to her experiences. For the unversed, post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that is basically triggered by a terrifying event either after experiencing it or witnessing it. Oh, man. I don't even want to go into the rest of it, but oh boy. She's seen so many UFOs, Jay.
Yeah.
She won't even go outside. You know why?
Well,
you know why?
why?
They're going to take her.
Well, I think her problem is her definition, right?
Okay.
UFO, unidentified flying object.
That's just something we don't know what it is in the sky.
Look, if I see a bird over there and I don't know what fucking species of it, is that still an unidentified flying object?
Well, that would be an unidentified flying creature or species.
Still an object.
Yeah, I would think more object, though, is like something that's like...
You're fucking with my point.
All right, Dad.
All I'm saying is, I think this lady needs some fucking therapy.
You look so cool right now, by the way.
Oh, do I?
Oh, yeah, your hood up, Ray-Bans on, chin up to the, hey, man, you're laid back. Gang, this is the coolest I've ever seen Jay. I want to just throw that out there.
I'm pretty drunk, too.
Oh, nice, cool. You should pour us another shot.
I need another beer. I'm not a beer chaser. Keep this in.
Yeah, this is staying in. So yeah, we're I can't wait to get the video going. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be great. But yeah. So all right. So
Listen, I get it, but here's the situation here.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like enamored by certain topics of the paranormal type, and I'm gonna say UFOs,
yeah,
I think you start to go down a rabbit hole, which ultimately leads to, holy fuck, they're coming for me. They want to probe my anus.
some people wouldn't mind that.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
but
right.
She's afraid though.
Yeah, she's afraid. I don't think it's more the anal things. I think.
Why are aliens so obsessed with our anuses?
Well, it's our digestive system. It's the end of the track, man.
Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
Do you think they've evolved beyond the point where they have to digest food, so they're interested?
Well, you got to think. All right, so the ones that we see have little mouths, right? They don't apparently have genitalia. They apparently don't have buttholes. Mm-hmm. You know, none's ever been described. So they're like, what causes prostate cancer? They're like, hemorrhoids. What's that about?
I think they may just be interested in the whole because they've moved past the point where they don't even really need to eat food. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I've heard weird things about Are you talking about the Greys, the traditional Greys?
Traditional Greys. Yeah.
Because they say, I've heard two things. One, there's some kind of biological robot, where they're not even that they're sent out by a
they're like a sentinel type.
Yeah,
there's
I've heard that. Maybe the reptoids send them, or the mantids.
The reptilians or the reptoids. There's two different.
Shapeshifters.
But so the reptilians though, they definitely have tails and butts. I've heard
the
that
reptilians are the ones that. Folks, we've moved squarely into the speculation section of our show.
Well, these are the ones that run the government.
They're the ones that run the government, and they also have shapeshifters in their employ.
Half shots because...
Shut up.
Yeah, so they run the government.
3/4 shots.
They're behind,
Hillary Clinton is one, apparently.
Oh, totally.
She spits up alien eggs during press conferences.
Hey, man. Look, anyone that has had that many
underground bases,
anyone that has that many friends either commit suicide or die under mysterious circumstances can't be a human.
Oops, I killed myself.
That's a T-shirt she should put.
Do you think the reptoids lived on Epstein's Island?
They definitely visited. They definitely visited.
All right. All I'm saying is this lady has definitely read too many issues of Weekly World News.
Yeah, if you're scared to go outside and claiming PTSD,
she's like the kid from the Benchwarmers who was afraid to go out in the sun, and then he goes to bat with the sword. This is this lady, and then the kid's like, he should have just used his sword.
Yeah,
and then he makes the peanut butter. No, that was the other guy.
Yeah, no, he does he's eating the sunscreen.
Yeah,
and then they're like, he's like, I'm good with the sun now. And he's like, what do you think of the moon? Not a fan.
Not a fan. And then he comes out. He's like,
best line in that. Well, there's a couple best lines. I know we're going off topic here, but one
watch the Benchwarmers.
Is when the picture I'm 12.
I am 12. He has documentation.
What is this? When he's just like when
and
Tim
the
Meadows
reggaeton comes on.
Yeah, but Tim Meadows is out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, just give me the beer, honky. And then he's like, Maria. And then the last when
that's a lot of albinos.
Yeah, when the little guy's in the basement.
Yeah,
and he's like, Barfy,
yeah.
Sarfu, and his mom's like, oh, stop casting spells. I love it. It's such a bad, great movie. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, this woman is that character, and
the peanut butter pterodactyl lady.
I made a pterodactyl.
Yeah. You are denied. And closes the trapdoor.
Because this castle starts casting spells. And his mom's just like, oh, stop casting spells. Anyway, all right.
So it's fantasy.
Right, just like
Ken, you know what else is fantasy? The Amityville Horror.
Oh, man. All right, so yeah, before we get into the meat of this, we really needed a light topic because we had a awesome, what a good conversation a week ago.
Oh, the previous the previous episode we discussed the legend that is Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, we have to make fun of something because we're itching, and oh boy,
hopefully this starts a series where I just berate the fucking Warrens.
Yeah.
Listen, folks. If you're listening and you think they have any credibility, just stop listening to our stuff because I hate them so much. I don't care if they've made a movie series based on them. All you have to do is just a little bit of research to know that
just
Ed Warren, which is not his real last name,
Right.
okay,
Right.
was a fraud.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And Lorraine was along for the ride because it made some money, and it means she didn't have to go work at a fucking Walgreens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Oh man, that Shock Docs documentary. Did you watch that one on them?
I think I did.
I had to. And like you go, they do this. They do this whole like. They do this whole humanizing thing, right? Because the movies are out, right? So you now see them as movie characters, right?
Right.
So they do this thing to humanize them, and they like it's like okay, yeah, Ed served in the military,
Yeah.
awesome, great. He loved this woman, awesome, great. But then he capitalized on every fucking haunted headline that was around back then.
Yeah, and yes, and I think that this will be like a mounting kind of like we may this is going to turn into a series of we're going to do their like cases that they worked on, and then we're going to kind of like button it up with an episode just on them.
Yeah,
because they have a Raggedy Ann doll in a fucking case, and people think it kills people.
Yeah. People think that Annabelle's a thing.
Yeah.
Like they think that this doll killed a priest in a car. Like they think that.
Yeah.
They think that.
People think a lot of things, sir.
Well, yeah, and it's funny. And before we get into the meat, once again, like guys, these are movies.
Yeah.
I want to say that first and foremost. All these things, when you see based on a true story before something, just remember that's not the true story.
No. Based. Yeah.
Keyword in that statement.
Might as well say freebasing because it's just as fucked up.
Yeah, you have a writer and a director that are making a story up. Here, ready? Like here's the story, right? Ready? Last week I fell and I hurt my knee, right?
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks ago. Based on Ken's knee injury, they go Ken fell on his knee, and then I get a bionic knee. That
you were pushed by a demon.
I was pushed by a demon, but then they give me a bionic knee that fights demons, can squirt holy water and ectoplasm, and
wait. So from here on out, Ken James is a squirter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
Yeah. So they do that, and it ends with me saving the world from a megalodon somehow.
Wow.
Based on a true story. Because I fell and hurt my knee, but that's how this works.
Right. Meaning that as long as the original germ of the falling and hurting knee is in there, you can say
and do
whatever the fuck.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start off with the Amityville Horror. Now, I wanted to start with this one first because the movie was filmed, dude, 1.5 miles from here.
You want to go fuck up the people that live there now? Like
nobody lives there. The house is vacant.
Want to go fuck the house?
Like what? Like.
Overhand.
Okay, all right. Just go like kick the door.
Yeah.
Like you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You're like, what's the problem? I don't know.
We're drunk.
Too much Rattlesnake Rosie's apple pie whiskey,
which is banging, by the way.
It is, man. This is a great fucking whiskey. These 4 episodes have turned into a commercial for Rattlesnake Rosie's.
As it should.
I'm into it.
That salesman at the liquor store was on point.
He was. He had a lot of gold jewelry. He's like a fucking pirate. It was kind of weird. You all right? You spit up that beer?
I just was recalling because his sales pitch was the
veteran owned.
And
then when he was asked, "Oh, what branch?" He had no fucking idea.
Yeah, because the guy came over. He was all excited.
One was a master sergeant.
Yeah, he bought it. He's
like
from
Halo.
He's like, oh, but he's like, you sir. He's no, I didn't. Serve.
He's like, no, I didn't serve. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And then I was like, oh. I was like, don't use that. Because the guy was so excited to talk to him about his military service.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amityville Horror.
I'm sorry. Back to more bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, Amityville Horror, I wanted to start with this one because this was like the template, right? This is the one that kind of like started it all.
Yeah,
because this is 1977. This was the first one. Amityville Horror, book by American author Jay Anson, which, September of 1977 is also the basis of the series, not the one, series of fucking films. Released from 1979 onward, the book is based on the claims of paranormal experiences by the Lutz family, but has led to controversy and lawsuits over its truthfulness. Now, Ken, on November 13th, my birthday, 1974, mine was 81 though, Ronald DeFeo Jr. Shot and killed 6 members of his family at 112 Ocean Avenue, a large Dutch colonial, High Hopes, the name of the house, situated in
Not the name of the story.
No. Situated in a suburban neighborhood in Amityville on the south shore of Long Island, New York. He was convicted of second-degree murder in November of 1975 and sentenced to 6 sentences of 25 years to life in prison. DeFeo died in custody in March of 2021. In December of 1975, George and Kathy Lutz and their 3 children moved into the house. After 28 days, the Lutzes fled the house, claiming to have been terrorized by paranormal phenomenon while living there. Okay. So I'm going to go over basically the plot of what happened here, and then we're going to talk about my Amityville Horror, the little documentary that follows Daniel Lutz, who is out of his fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it's important to talk about that one, because the Amityville Horror has been something that's like one of the ones that people would point to, right? Where it's like talking about, okay, it's right.
Yeah, because anytime you bring this up, people are like, "No, that guy."
Which guy?
They're just always like, the guy had problems. Like he went through some stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's get through the main meat of it. So the book describes the house at 112 Ocean Avenue as remaining empty for 13 months after the DeFeo murders. What do you think was going on in those 13 months? Just like a demon party?
No, I think it was
Nothing?
a whole real estate thing. Yeah.
But other dangers, Ken. What do you think was going on?
Okay, so there was a little ghost girl that was haunting there.
Moving tools?
And she was she had a bullet in her head, and like she was waiting for Ryan Reynolds to show up.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't wait to kill his stepkids. She was just like planning it. It was like Macaulay Culkin style ghost.
Gotcha. She had 13 months of prep time.
Yeah. No, ready. It was like, almost as good as Kevin McAllister, because no one's that good.
Yeah.
But like, she tried.
Yeah.
She tried, and she failed. But she was that 13 months of just like
catch him and kill him.
And also I can't wait to see this guy with his shirt off.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
There's a clause in his contract.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In December of 1975, George and Kathy Lutz bought the house for what was considered to be a bargain price of $80,000. The 5-bedroom house was built in Dutch colonial style and had a distinctive gambrel roof. # Lovecraft. You'll see what I mean later. And when I mean later, I mean like different podcast. # hint. It also had a swimming pool and a boathouse. It was located on a canal. George and Kathy married in July of 1975, and each had their own homes, but they wanted to start fresh with a new property. Kathy had 3 children from a previous marriage, Daniel, 9, Christopher, 7, and Melissa, Missy, 5. They also owned a crossbreed Malamute Labrador dog named Harry. He gets into some trouble in the movie. He jumps into a pit of satanic slime.
I love that was just like a talking point for you. You like stopped and looked at me. You were like, this dog gets into semantics.
Hey man, my favorite part of the movie is Jody, the fucking demon pig. Because anytime there's a pig that needs to be named in this house, I have 3 daughters, so they're like pig stuffed animals come up quite a bit. And like that fucking thing's name is Jody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jody doesn't like George.
Bro, I remember when I was a kid, because like, we had 2 bedrooms for 3 boys.
Yeah.
So I would always sleep on Chris's floor, because Chris would sleep with the TV on, and I just,
Yeah.
So
with his eyes open.
Yeah, with his eyes open. And
Chris,
his hands.
I want you to come on this fucking show and describe that.
Chris he used to sleep
like a mummy.
Yeah, like a mummy with his hands across his chest, with his eyes open. So my brother is like a mummy or a vampire. It's weird.
Yeah.
He has the up teeth. I have the down teeth. So vampire
werewolf. Yeah.
But I remember
folks, if this is your first episode, I pity you.
Yeah. So I remember waking up one night to that, because we had HBO, we had all the channels. Yeah. So I'm sleeping and I wake up to, he shot her in the head. I wake up and I'm like, I'm fucking 9, 10. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I sit up the rest of the time and I watch the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Don't they fuck after that?
Oh, yeah, right after that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, babe.
Yeah, Margot Kidder. Listen, man, she was...
Smoking.
Dude. And James Brolin?
Yeah, James
Father
Brolin
of Thanos?
was a stallion.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I was 9, like, damn.
Yeah. Dude, look at that beard. Look at that hair.
Yeah. The hair, the hair, the beard combo.
Yeah.
That guy could... That guy...
She's like, who do you love? He's like... He just points at her.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, that guy, fucks and fights. That's what you know about that guy.
Yeah.
And builds stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? Or am I...
You're right, man.
Am I off base? Okay.
No, man.
So 9-year-old Ken wakes up to
This
that.
story's a joke, so anything goes.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's where we're at. So yeah, I remember waking up to that and being like, what movie is this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, this is the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
That I've heard so much about in my prior 9 years.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this, any of the episodes, but like when that movie came out, my mom was in high school in this town here, and she interviewed Margot Kidder.
Oh.
When they were filming the fucking movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seamstress mommy. Got to get in there.
Yeah. Little did she know that, some evil was going to come out of her in 1981. This guy.
Yeah. Yes, chanting. Just chanting, right?
Ray, you're chanting.
Chanting.
Satan is good. Satan is my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So during their first inspection of the house, the real estate broker told them, "Do you like that intro? Was that
Great segue.
Was that a good segue?
That was a great segue.
Okay, I'm drunk. I'm sorry. This is a drunk episode. We should mark these with like a star, like that we're
If
drunk.
we could, if they let us on all platforms, I would.
Fucking iTunes.
I'll just have to do this. I'll just have to put them in like parentheses, drunk. Right. I'll do it on this one. I'll do it on this one. We'll start it here.
Okay. During the first inspection of the house, the real estate broker told them about the DeFeo murders and asked if that would affect their decision. After discussing the matter, they decided that this is not a problem.
Your enjoyment for that.
Dude, I love this. The story is such nonsense. I love it.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like eating cake frosting.
Yeah.
The Lutz family moved in.
Dough.
Yeah, dude, uncooked cookie dough. Like, hey, I was supposed to make chocolate chip cookies today. It's I ate it last night.
Yeah, we're like, no, we're talking about the Amityville Horror.
Yeah, we just split it in half. I give you one, I ate the other. The Lutz family moved in December 18th, 1975. Much of the DeFeo family's furniture was still in the house because it was included for $400 as part of the deal. Interesting.
Yeah.
Murdered families fucking shit.
Yeah. $400, you get everything. You get everything. There might be some brain matter or something on that, but we're cool.
A friend of George Lutz learned about the history of the house and insisted on having it blessed.
Oh.
Okay. At the time, George was a non-practicing Methodist and had no experience of what this would entail. Okay. Kathy was a non-practicing Catholic and explained the process. George knew a Catholic priest named Father Ray who agreed to carry out the house blessing. In Anson's book, real-life priest Father Ralph J. Pecoraro is referred to as Father Mancuso for privacy reasons.
Oh, yeah. But we know his name from the article anyway.
Father Mancuso, check this out, was a lawyer, judge of the Catholic court, and psychotherapist who lived at the local Sacred Heart Rectory. Who is this guy?
Fletch.
All right. He arrived to perform the blessing while George and Kathy were unpacking their belongings on the afternoon of December 18th, 1975, and went into the building to carry out the rites. When he flicked the first holy water and began to pray, he heard a masculine voice demand that he, quote-unquote, get out.
Is this where the trope started?
Yeah.
Is this the beginning of Get Out?
Get out. Play a clip from the movie here.
Get out.
Because it's funny, because I mix this one up with, like, the Scary Movie one where James Woods is pretending to, like, and he's just like, let me release this demon, and he's shitting, and the flies are on his face.
Oh, my God, the best.
I wish that really happened. When leaving the house, Father Mancuso did not mention this incident to either George or Kathy. So on December 24th, 1975, Christmas Eve. What?
Why?
Yeah, I know.
Why didn't he mention that?
He's like, I was attacked by a demon.
He was like, no, I was waiting for your story to take off.
He was like, it's fine. Father Mancuso called George Lutz and advised him to stay out of the second floor room where he had heard the mysterious voice. The former bedroom of Mark and John Matthew DeFeo that Kathy planned to use as a sewing room, but the call was cut short by static. Satanic static.
Ryan. There's another band name. Satanic
Ryan,
Static.
Make a song.
Yeah.
Satanic Static. For real.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Ryan. I'm going to refer to him as, like, listen, if you guys don't stop fucking around, I'm going to bring in the Satanic Static.
Yeah, right.
And then you guys are all fucked.
Yeah, you're done.
And I'm like, Ryan?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't know what the Satanic Static is, or even Ryan at this point, just send me a message, folks, and I will send him to your house.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, please get him the fuck out of my house.
Please stop.
Yeah, please just stop. Following his visit to the house, Father Mancuso allegedly developed a high fever and blisters on his hands from jerking off. I'm sorry, similar to stigmata.
Similar to stigmata.
So he battled the demon.
Yeah.
And then manifested the wounds of Christ.
Right. So he didn't tell them. He didn't tell them about his battle. Eventually, did when the story took off. And all of a sudden, the lawyer.
This guy's sus as fuck.
Yo, sus, bruh. Damn. Silly. It's silly. It's silly.
Silly? I don't even. Okay. At first, George and Kathy experienced nothing unusual in the house. Talking about their experiences subsequently, they reported that it was as if they were each living in a different house, which means our stories don't line up. Please make this work.
No. The house changed.
The house changed?
For each of them.
Is that a way to get around that these stories don't line up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Catch them and kill them.
Yeah.
By mid-January 1976, after another attempt at a house blessing by George and Kathy, they experienced what would turn out to be their final night in the house. I just want to stop here. Have you ever seen what George Lutz looks like?
Yeah.
He looks someone that could be related to your family.
Sure. We
Like
got
an
all
uncle.
kinds of fucking problems in our family.
No, I don't mean the problems. Just he looks like...
No, I get it. I'm saying...
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
He could be of Welsh descent. Welsh, Irish, Italian descent.
Lutz. That's German.
We have some German. We have, we have German, Hungarian, Serbian.
That would explain all those Nazi artifacts you guys keep in your house.
Holy shit! First of all, no.
Just you can cut that out.
Yeah, no, we're not going to cut it out because I'm not going to let you slander the James family name.
Sorry, let me put my sunglasses back.
Yeah, put your sunglasses back on. First of all, that was a funny joke. That was a funny, silly joke by Jay. That's what that was.
You can cut that out.
No, I'm not going to cut that out.
Okay. All right. So by mid-January 1976, after another attempt at a house blessing by George and Kathy, they experienced what would turn out to be their final night in the house.
Oh.
Okay. The Lutzes declined to give a full account of their events because they were all bullshit.
Yeah.
That took place on this occasion, describing them as, quote unquote, too frightening.
It was too scary.
I want to stop you there. What would be too scary for you to report? What is
Alien
too
abduction.
scary?
Alien abduction.
Is that the scariest thing you can think of?
Alien abduction with like Travis Walton Fire in the Sky movie abduction. Not just like go up, they go beep beep beep, and they send you
his
home.
experience in the ship.
Yeah.
When they put the shit on him and he's like,
when he wakes
they put
up,
the jelly in his mouth.
all that, he wakes up,
jam that shit
floating,
down it,
puts his hand in human goo.
Yeah.
They rip him around the ship.
Then he figures out that the alien greys actually are spacesuits.
Yes.
Like,
all that.
Too many revelations in one short period of time.
Bottom line.
The rotting guy in the
when he puts his hand in the human goo. That's what I'm saying. So the fuck's their names? Barney Hill.
Oh.
Barney Hill.
Oh, the Betty and Barney Hill.
Yeah. So I'm saying, but Barney. You wake that memory. You wake that memory.
Yeah.
Too terrifying to remember. I die from it because of an aneurysm. That's too terrifying to talk about. On my way up here, the car that almost ended in like a crazy fight and a gunshot, me surviving, someone pulling a gun on me. No, I'll report that. That's really terrifying. Home invasion, I'll report that.
But sanity shattering.
Yeah, seeing a ghost, I'll report that.
Yeah.
You know what I won't report? Being up in a spaceship, this and that. It's too terrifying to report. You mean you don't have details and you're going to work on it later. That's what
I
you're
feel
saying.
like this episode is a preamble to another podcast where we're going to discuss topics.
Hashtag hint.
Hashtag hint. Where it's so sanity shattering that the human mind cannot comprehend.
Right. And a haunting like this isn't that.
No. This
It's
is
not.
just we. Okay,
Want-
let's.
yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. My too frightening would be probably along the same lines, where it's like these things shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And it completely exists outside of my, like.
You're off Earth.
Yeah, but it exists outside of my like framing of what life and reality is.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. It's like, well, that shouldn't be.
Right. You're like, I've
Right.
nothing in
Down is
life.
up is down.
Yeah, nothing
Cats
in life
and dogs
is,
living together.
Yeah.
Mass hysteria.
Yeah. And you're like, nothing in any kind of modern science that I've been told is what I should be following
I got it.
has this.
So after getting in touch with Father Mancuso, this guy's not reputable.
Father Mancuso.
Psychologist, what was he, like bare knuckle boxer? What the fuck did they say he was? A lawyer and judge of the Catholic court and psychotherapist. This guy probably sounds like this guy sounds like he existed to like dispute claims.
Yeah. Well, he was there to
Like, let's say you get up on the witness stand
save
and just
cash.
say crazy shit, like
Right.
somebody shit in a bed.
Yeah.
This is the guy that's like, "Are you sure you've ever seen shit?"
Yeah, and
Like he
you're
just
like-
gets up there and like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. Did you
Wait.
taste it?
Wait, have you been a psychologist for 35 years? Do you know what the fuck you're talking
Yeah.
about? It's this kind of guy,
He's
right?
like, hey, look, Father Mancuso. He's like, okay, I'm here to
Yeah.
do a job.
Yep.
You know,
He
I'm
came
here to
to-
do a job.
He came to Satriali's.
Yeah, he got the gabagool with the sharp provolone. It's up and down. We don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. We don't know. No, it's fine. You made your statement.
Do you want some shoyu dough?
I'll take some sweet. I also, they talk about the who's and stuff is fine. I just don't partake. I'm not like you. It's okay. You're a crazy man, Mr. Lutz. But I believe you.
I like that assessment.
Right. That's what he is. He's a shyster. He's a shyster Italian lawyer.
Okay. Well, but a priest at the same time.
Exactly.
Is he hitting all the bases? Is that
Well,
what it
this
is?
is before the internet, so he could just send away for it. This is like the mail list. I got my or I was ordained via mail.
I like that. That's a good idea because listen, it's like, oh, you don't accept this level of authority.
Yeah.
I'm also a priest,
And I'm
then-
also a psychotherapist.
yeah.
Not only am I a psychotherapist, I'm a lawyer and I'm a priest. I could do it all.
Yeah, he's like, will you stop it? I'm still gonna go out.
Yeah. But that's what he was doing every time he went out.
You know what? That's probably pretty accurate. As fucked up as this is.
Right.
So the Lutzes decided to take some belongings and stay at Kathy's mother's house in nearby Deer Park, New York. That's just around the corner from St. Pete's Beach. Until they had sorted out the problems with the house. What does that mean? Sorted out the problems. What, you fucking call up Venkman and fucking Spengler and they fucking fix it for you? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
They claimed that the phenomenon followed them there, with the final scene of Anson's book describing greenish black slime.
There it is. There it is. You
Coming
just said
up the
keyword.
staircase towards them. That's a fucking shuggoth for my Lovecraftian friends. That doesn't happen.
Hashtag hint. But yeah, but the thing is that there you go. You said it. The book.
Yeah.
Something a sluggish black green. Come on.
On January 14th, 1976, George and Kathy Lutz, with their 3 children and their dog Harry...
That's not a dog's name.
It isn't.
That's not a dog's name.
Poor dog. Left 112 Ocean Avenue, leaving all of their possessions behind. The next day, a mover arrived to remove the possessions to send to the Lutzes, and he was like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
He's like, this is just a house.
He's like, oh, what?
He's like, somebody shit in one of the beds.
Yeah. There's a guy crying in the corner that
The
was saved by a
dad,
woman.
the dad got a fucking black eye.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk was involved somehow.
Yeah. He paid 1.3 billion of your contribution. Yeah.
It was 500,000.
To UCLA.
Justice for Johnny. He reported no paranormal phenomenon while inside the house. Of course not.
Yeah.
This guy's like, one dog goes one way, the other one goes the other. What do you want from me?
I love that our Italian heritage
It really is coming
bleeding
out.
out
I
right
know.
now. It's so good.
You're asking me questions. I'm saying we get together for Christmas Eve for the Feast of the Seven Visions.
Yeah, right. I don't know. What do you want?
from me?
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
The book was written after Tam Mossman, an editor at the publishing house Prentice Hall, introduced George and Kathy Lutz to Jay Anson. The Lutzes did not work directly with Anson, but submitted around 45 hours of tape-recorded recollections to him, which are used as the basis of the book. Estimates of the sales of the book were around 10 million copies from its numerous editions.
No shit.
Anson is said to have based the title of the Amityville Horror on the Dunwich Horror by H.P. Lovecraft, which was published in 1929.
Oh, no, really?
No shit.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Some of the Warrens come in and dig their fucking talons in.
So, criticism and controversy of this.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
The role of Father Pecoraro, Father Mancuso in the story, has been given considerable attention. During the course of the lawsuit surrounding the case in the late 1970s, Father Pecoraro stated in an affidavit that his only contact with the Lutzes concerning the matter had been by telephone. Other accounts said that Father Pecoraro did visit the house, but experienced nothing unusual there. So complete fabrication.
He's like, I just talked to these people over the phone. I didn't go to the house. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going to the house. What do you think? I'm walking around. I'm asking for some, schvazoots out of the fucking fridge. What do you think?
Listen, I go down to the store. I went to Manicotti's. I get some fucking cookies. I got some Troyadel. I come to the house. I don't see anything, so I just fucking leave. No one's home.
Yeah, they call me later. They say shit's going off the walls. There's a gooey creature walking up the stairs. What am I gonna fucking do? I call my mother. I tell her what's going on. And that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So
She said, Joey, stay away from that fucking house, okay?
Yeah, she said, Joey, you don't go to that house, all right? You don't bring that home with you. And I was like, all right, mother, up, down, top, left, right. I don't know what you're
So basically you're saying the Amityville Horror is a lost episode of The Sopranos.
No, because it's not that good.
Good call.
Well, but if it was, it'd be the episode where Paulie went to the psychic.
I can't even say the best line.
Fucking. One of the best episodes. How's the poison ivy?
Hold
Still
on.
itch?
Hold on. Let's just
Yeah.
address this real quick because we're in the Italian-American episode of
Yeah.
section of this episode.
Apparently.
Paulie is quite possibly one of the best characters ever presented on television ever. Not because
Satan
he's...
shit.
Not because he attacked the landscape crew.
Oh my god. Knocked him out of
Not because he broke the legs of a fucking rowboat guy.
Yeah.
Not because his affinity for
sniffing
is-
and also sniffing Adriana's underwear.
Motherfucker. I just want to clarify, the hints that we were dropping before are not for a Sopranos podcast.
Yeah, that's not what's coming.
I'm sorry.
Although we could.
I digress.
Yeah.
The claims of physical damage to the locks, doors, and windows were rejected by Jim and Barbara Cromartie, who bought the house for $55,000, equivalent to $246,000 in 2021 money. Dude, $55,000. They even got a bigger discount.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that house for $55,000?
No, I would do it right now.
I would do it, dude. Of course you would buy that house.
Yeah.
I was
don't
like, ghosts?
care.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah. Who was killed here? Cool.
I have my Kenner ghost popper. I'll just shoot the fucking foam.
No, I
things
have an
out.
AR-15. I don't give a shit.
For ghosts?
No, that's for demons.
Oh,
Because
demons are corporeal?
Zach Bagans would have me believe so.
Don't use Zach Bagans as your guide for anything.
Anyway,
Barbara argued that they appeared to be the original items and had not been repaired. The Cromarties also revealed that the red room, okay, the secret room that they talked about in the book, was a small closet in the basement and would have been known to the previous owners of the house, the Lutzes, because it was not concealed in any way. I can't even go into that because it's like a long thing.
Yeah,
there's a satanic hidden room.
Well, but was it like in the movie, the remake, they made him like a pilgrim witch hunter?
In the remake, they talked about Sam Ketchum, I think his name was, or something Ketchum.
Yeah, but he was one of those.
None
like,
of that happened.
Witch hunter.
It was not built on.
Yeah, no shit.
All that is horseshit.
Still, based on the true story.
Yeah, and how. The claim made in Chapter 11 of the book that the house was built on the site where the local Shinnecock Indians had once abandoned the mentally ill and the dying was rejected by local Native American leaders.
Yeah. You think the Native Americans are doing that kind of shit? No. Native Americans weren't fucking doing what we did in like Byberry and Marlboro. No. Come on.
Here, get ready for this one. Buckle in for this one.
Oh, I'm strapped
The
in.
claim of cloven hoof prints in the snow on January 1st, 1976 was rejected by researchers Rick Moran and Peter Jordan, whose investigation revealed that there had been no snowfall at the time. Neighbors reported nothing unusual during the time that the Lutzes were living there. Police officers are depicted visiting the house in the book and 1979 film, but the records show that the Lutzes did not call the police during the period that they were living on Ocean Avenue. There was no bar in Amityville called the Witch's Brew at the time. They just added that.
Yeah. Like,
because fuck them, that's why.
Yeah, because fuck them, that's why. Right.
Critics, including Stephen Kaplan, have pointed out that changes were made to the book as it was reprinted in different editions. I love this part.
Yeah.
In the original hardcover edition, Father Pecorar's car is an old tan Ford, and he experiences an incident in which the hood flies up against the windshield while he is driving it, which is awesome because it takes place right by the mall over here.
But also, Old Tan Ford is a good band name.
I'll go with it. I like Ghost Pig.
Oh, that's great. That's like a.
In later editions, the car is described as a Chevrolet Vega before reverting to a Ford. They just changed it for no fucking reason. What were they trying to get that fucking like Chevy money?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They're like, Ford's not biting. Ford's not biting the bait. We got to go to Chevy. And then Chevy was like,
we can't add ghost fucking features to this car.
Yeah, right. That'd be sick.
Dude, are you kidding me? What is your top ghost feature for a fucking car?
Top ghost feature?
Yeah.
Oh, gunner seat.
Okay. I would go for the original, like, if somebody got you an 80s version toy of a Ecto 1.
Okay.
The hook comes out the back to grab the ghosts, and then it pulls in and gets you.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Okay. Ghost feature. You know what I would want? In the display area, like in the new cars, find me the ghosts.
Right, so like how they do, like there's a deer up there.
Yeah.
Like you have that little, the like heads up menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, ghost girl, white lady in the road. That'd be
like, show me closest paranormal activity
raw
in the area.
No, so that would be like in the dash in your GPS. That'd be like a Waze thing.
I'm half-mast just thinking about that.
Right, think about like the Waze, how they're like, oh, there's a cop up here, or there's a traffic light.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Alleged sightings here.
Sighting of ghosts.
They give you the time to sit there, and it's like, oh, if you sit, so then you sit there, and then 2 hours later, there's a fucking white lady.
Yeah, but it'd be like the live reporting like they do, because like Google Maps bought Waze.
Right. 5 people have reported in the last hour that the gray lady had been spotted, or white or gray lady has been. Yeah.
Or there's a skinwalker running across the road. They've seen it, and you're like, we go there.
I just want to say that kids in the 13 to 14-year-old range right now are really into skinwalkers.
I've seen.
My daughter, the one night, she was like running. She has kids around the corner that she's friends with. They were like, Dad, they were telling me the story that there's possibly a skinwalker here. I was like, okay, let me stop you right there.
You're like, your friends are idiots.
I was like, let me stop you right there. Skinwalkers traditionally only exist in the Southwest. Wendigo, however, since it's the winter, you might want to worry about that. What's a Wendigo? I was like, have a good night.
Yeah.
Go ahead and Google that.
Yeah, enjoy your Googles.
She was like, that's like the spirit of hunger, and it exists. I was like, yeah.
You're like, imagine being me and Kenny.
I was like, yeah. I was like, and we stole this land, so you enjoy that.
Pale motherfucker.
Hashtag pale.
You opie mother. I'm having too good a time.
Yeah.
I'm having too good a time.
And then I was like, if you really want to have your head explode, sweetheart, I was like, the Jersey Devil exists in Native American legend before we even got here. I was like, the Pine Barrens were known as the place of the dragon.
Yeah. And
She's like, her face was like this,
yeah.
literally. She's like, I was like, yeah, that's over there.
Yeah. You're like, that's where Daddy grew up.
That's where I grew up. I was like, the place of the dragon.
You're like, why do you think Kenny likes me so much?
Yeah, that's exactly. Why do you think Grandpa's so fucking crazy?
So the Amityville Horror.
Anyway, back to the DeFeos. Excuse me, the Lutzes. In May of 1977, George and Kathy Lutz filed a lawsuit against William Weather, the defense lawyer for Ronald DeFeo, for whatever reason, Paul Hoffman, and Bernard Burton and Frederick Mars, who were both alleged both alleged clairvoyants who had examined the house.
Examined.
Dude, how cool would it be to have a business card that said alleged clairvoyant?
Dude, my neck hurts from laughing. Peter James.
Along with
Peter
Good
James.
Housekeeping magazine, the New York Sunday News, and the Hearst Corporation. They sued all these people. The Lutz's alleged misappropriation of names for trade purposes, invasion of privacy, and mental distress.
Yeah, that's the
The
big
claims against the news corporations were dropped, and the remainder of the lawsuit was heard by Brooklyn U.S. Court Judge Jack Weinstein. In September of 1979, Judge Weinstein dismisses the Lutz's claims in meeting that Weber is said to have had with George and Kathy Lutz, during which they discussed which would later become the outline of Anson's book. Yeah. Judge Weinstein also expressed concern about the conduct of William Weber and Bernard Burton regarding the affair, the alleged clairvoyance, stating, "There is a very serious ethical question when lawyers become literary agents."
Yeah. Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, all right. So George Lutz, this guy, he might be the artwork for this episode.
I would hope so.
Dude, he's like 70s porn guy. Like the stash, the hair.
Related to me.
Looks like a James. His library of occult texts.
Like, I want to get to bashing, but like, do we get to the Warrens soon? Do we?
Well, to be honest, the Warrens aren't mentioned too much in this because let me get through this, then we'll talk about the Warrens.
Okay.
George Lutz maintained that the events in the book were mostly true. Dude, that means that, what does that mean? That doesn't put forth a percentage.
Nothing. Mostly because they said it.
Yeah. Basically, like, Ken, there's a monster out there. And then you could say, I heard that there's a monster out there because you heard me say it.
Yeah. Then we do that all the time on this on Other Dangerous podcasts.
In June, we're full of shit.
Yeah.
In June 1979, put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Other Dangerous podcasts.
We're full of shit.
And then some. In June 1979, George and Kathy Lutz took a polygraph test relating to their experiences at the house. The polygraph tests were performed by Chris Gugas and Michael Rice, who at the time were reportedly among the top 5 polygraph. This is not. You don't laugh at this.
I'm not.
You don't laugh at this.
I'm not. I'm
You don't say that.
Yeah, you don't say that.
You don't say that.
You don't say that.
Top 5 polygraph experts in America. The results, in Rice's opinion, did not indicate lying. Okay.
Yeah, well, polygraphs...
Mostly true.
Polygraphs are not admissible
in October
court
2000, the History Channel broadcast Amityville, The Haunting and Amityville Horror or Hoax.
Christ.
A 2-part documentary made by horror screenwriter-producer Daniel Ferrens. Yeah, screenwriter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The debate about the accuracy of the Amityville Horror continues. The various owners of the house since the Lutz family left in 1976 have reported no problems while living there. James Cromartie, who brought the house in 1977 and lived there with his wife Barbara for 10 years, commented nothing weird ever happened except for people coming by because of the book and the movie. So it's kind of interesting because the Lutzes, their involvement with the Warrens...
It's kind of interesting.
It's kind of interesting because, of course, there's not too much historical evidence, quote-unquote, on this. But at the same time, the fact that there's a lot of... absence kind of says a lot, right? So the Warrens apparently heard about this haunting.
I love that. The Warrens, that's how they
Listen,
should be
man.
referred to.
Listen. They contacted, from what I understand and from what I've heard from a few sources, is that they heard that this haunting was going on, and they were the ones who convinced the Lutzes to do a book deal because this was the way to make money. And they said, we will push forth your claims. Just give us a little kickback. And this is how they operated. And literally, that's it. That's what they did with the other ones. The Perrins in the original Conjuring movie, which the most horrifying thing in that movie is that he bought one pizza to feed like 8 people.
Yeah. And also, the dude from Office Space had to deal with all that because you love him in that. And
yeah, he got out of Intertrode or Initech, excuse me, not Penetrode.
Intertrode was the other company that they went to, right?
Initech. He gets out and then he ends up at a haunted house.
Yeah. He was like, construction's not working. I want to become a trucker.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah, man.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So, I mean, there's not much to say, but because it's purposely been kept out of the record. Okay, so the Warrens, this was their mode of doing things. They would come into, a place that was, reputed to have been haunted, and they would say, hey, we're reputable. We've investigated these other places. Let's make a deal. We'll support your claims. You do a book, and you give us a kickback. And there's been more than a few people that have given this evidence that, like, the Warrens would come in and do this. Mm-hmm. They did it in the original Conjuring, and there's a case in England. What was that, Conjuring Part 2? That's a funny one because we should actually cover that at one point because the Warrens were actually viewed as a fucking nuisance.
Yeah.
Because they're like, dude, get out of our house.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking annoying us because they were trying to get all this evidence.
Yeah, I remember actually, just like when I was a kid, being when I would like take out scary stories to tell in the dark all the time at my school's library.
Yeah.
And I would also take out the books on tape, but I would also look at like the National Geographic stuff, right? So I'd always like
For the naked people?
I wasn't really into that, but yeah, for the naked people. But there was a point where like I would just like, look at things, and then I remember seeing those pictures in one of those big flip books of stories, and one of them was that family, and like it got lost in my memories throughout the years with everything. And then when they did the part 2, I was like, oh shit, this is what that is. That British haunting that they and it was like this was like the I think it was National Geographic. Don't quote me.
I'm quoting you right now.
Quote me on it. So but it was I remember seeing the pictures and everything and just being like a kid, like this exists, like this is real, right? And like man, when it comes down to it, like I was a dumb kid, right?
Okay.
Who believed everything, right? Much
Can't
like,
be faulted for that. You're a
yeah,
kid.
but I wanted to be better as a kid.
Yeah, that's called being an adult. So when you're a kid and you're fallible, that's okay because you're a kid.
I should have been better. I should have been better. So, yeah, all right. But you were saying that we should cover that. We're gonna have to cover all of these. We're gonna have to talk about all these situations.
What, though? I feel like because that's a bunch of episodes where I feel like we should just like plug it because man, it sucks because I have to almost like edit myself a little bit because it's like you get these cases where it's like, hey, there may have been like credible shit here, but when the Warrens show up, it's like, god damn it, now they're here, and now it's like the veil of like horseshit is here because like now they're here, and like their name just ruins it.
Snake oil salesmen show up.
Yeah, and like if you're listening to this and you think the Warrens are credible, do a little more research.
Yeah.
Just do a little more research because Ed was a fucking charlatan.
Yeah,
all you have to do is look a little bit just to see that he was.
Well, this whole thing was backed on religion, right?
Yeah.
It was that was the whole concept. So what he did was he worked the naivete of the Bible Belt and the people that were looking. All right, so to put myself out there a little bit, right? So like it's no secret to them and Jay. Like I reached out to Jay because I have panic attacks, and it comes and goes. And I don't mean to make it a big deep thing, but I think this kind of ties in, right? So like my uncertainty of what's going to happen, right? And then that feeds into it. But there's billions of people like me out there, right? The only difference is that I go, this is bullshit. I can smell bullshit. People can't. So to satiate their nerves, anxieties, beliefs, whatever, they latch onto someone who goes, I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They latch onto someone that says, I have the cure for your fear.
Yeah.
And people, hook, line, and sinker, fall right into that catalyst. And I'm sorry for bring my shit up in these episodes, but that's the rub, right? That's the sell. And Ed Warren was a shark at knowing he smelled blood in the water. He was able to get in and capitalize on that and then springboard it back into his own show that they had.
Yeah.
And it's like people don't realize that. They go, no, he had this show because he was trying to enlighten people on what's really going on. In reality, he was capitalizing on people's fear, the inevitable idea that I one day will die.
Yeah, and then tried to further capitalize on it by producing this museum of haunted objects that, you know, all right, we're not going to be able to investigate forever, so let's have a museum that people can come to.
Yeah.
That'll generate income from that.
Yeah, we can't travel forever, but we can have people come to us.
Yeah.
And we can laugh our way to the bank, as they say.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird because, like, you have Lorraine Warren in there who's like, I wonder if she's just like, is she like fully the accomplice, or is she just like, well...
Look, man, I'll tell you right now, she's fully an accomplice, not just because of her quote-unquote psychic abilities, but for the TV shows and people that she aligned herself with.
That's true.
Look at who before her death she completely latched onto.
That's true.
The dude from Paranormal State.
Yeah.
Who was the most giant con artist.
Oh, yeah.
Pillhead.
The hell was his name?
Nutjob.
Buell?
Ryan Buell.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
And he used sickness and all this stuff. He had all these different... Chip Coffey backed him up as much as he could, too. Chip Coffey, if you don't know, he's Paranormal Kids and he's a Psychic Kids.
He's sweet.
Yeah, he's sweet. He's a sweet guy. He's like the Elton John of the paranormal community. He stuck with him as long as he could, and then he actually realized, oh, this guy's conning people.
Yeah.
He has a bad drug addiction.
Yeah.
And he is embezzling all this money for these shows he's supposed to do. And then the dude Ryan Buell.
Poor Sergi.
Sergi. Ryan Buell says that I'm marrying Sergi. He tried to use the I'm a homosexual.
Yeah.
And he tried to use that card to get him out of trouble and rally that community. And at the end of it, it's
He's
like...
just a con artist.
Yeah, he was a con artist.
Yeah.
The whole time, it seems like.
Yeah.
And, like, you know what? You go back to, I think it was Scariest Place on Earth when he actually did the Penn State... they did the episode on that, on the ghosts that were there.
Yeah.
And, like, you're like, oh, this kid's, like, interesting. And I remember seeing that then he had his own show, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, oh, that kid from... Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then years later, it's like, dude, this industry...
Yeah.
That we find ourselves not in, but linked to.
Yes. Well, not getting too far from, the topic here at hand.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, hey, man. You got to expound when you can.
Yeah.
But I think that with the Amityville Horror specifically, it was too good not to go in for, because they knew here's a book deal, and then it turned into a movie deal.
Yeah.
And, dude, how many movies at this point? It's got to be 6.
Yeah.
Something like that, because
they made a 3D one.
3D, and then I think that was the last one of the older ones, and then they made the Ryan Reynolds one, and then there was a couple sequels after that.
Oh yeah, they made one with Bella Thorne.
Yeah,
recently.
And then there's like a found footage looking one. It's
Well, it's a topic because people bought in so hard, right? Because you're like ghost murder. Like when you hear the murder thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like when there's actually like a crime.
Yes.
That's committed there. It's like, all right, this makes it fact. You know what I mean? Like it makes it real because this happened.
Well, that's the problem, because it doesn't make it fact. It just makes it a person's opinion.
Right.
And they tell you it's a fact.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's a fact.
It doesn't make it a fact to us, but I'm saying it makes it a fact to people.
Well, yeah, but just because it's a person's opinion doesn't make it a fact.
Mother, no.
So I think just the last part we should go over, because we mentioned it earlier, would be the documentary My Amityville Horror, featuring Danny Lutz.
Oh,
You want
man.
to start off, or should I start off?
Well, all right. Here's where I'll start off.
Okay.
I remember when it came out. I remember when
Yeah.
the trailers came out, and
Yeah.
it was 2 years into living at the house that I lived in.
Okay.
So I was 26, maybe. I remember texting you, and you were like, "Dude, no."
Yeah.
You were like, because I was like, did you see this? You're gonna watch it, and of course, Chris was like, "Oh my God, this is Holy Grail stuff."
It's not.
So I know, and then I watched it, and then you know what? I forget so much of it because it was a grain of salt. All I come out with is mental illness. Like that's all I came out with.
Yeah.
Like I was like impressed memories, like things that he made himself believe. To and this is fucked up, but to not tarnish his parents' reputation, dude, it's
Well, it's yes, 100%. Because you watch it, and it's like here's all his stories, and even like, dude, 10 minutes in, you're like, this guy's a little fucked up,
Right.
And it's like, okay, maybe he's fucked up from the experiences, but like in the middle of the documentary, when they have to drop a whole section of like psychotherapists to like
Yeah.
be like, okay, listen. This kid maybe doesn't remember what actually happened.
Right.
And maybe this is just a whole lot of, manifestations of trauma.
right.
Where he sits there as a man in his 50s telling you that he saw George Lutz levitating books. It's like, come on, man. And then he goes and visits Lorraine Warren, who's still alive, and says that, like, she starts asking him questions, and you could see him get tripped up. Oh, I lived in the desert. And she's like, what?
Yeah, even her,
Even she's like, okay.
because she's a salesman. She's an act. She's, she keeps. You
Yeah.
got to keep it tight if you're going to be that kind of paranormal investigator.
You could tell too, because he's very like, when they show him, he like worked for UPS for years, and he had and they go in his garage. He's like, you see all my stuff? It all starts up. It's all good. It's all good. Like he's very interested in like the truth. It's like, yeah, of course you're interested in the truth because your whole life was predicated on the not truth.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, then you watch it, and I watched it a couple times just to get like, I wanted to get my head around the whole thing, and I was like, God, man, this guy literally is just in no uncertain terms is a victim of abuse, because he was told by his stepfather, which is, that is traumatic enough.
No, absolutely.
To have a new dad come in,
Yeah.
but also to tell you saw this shit,
Yeah.
and you're gonna toe the line for us.
And also, I won't love you if
Yeah.
you didn't.
Yeah.
As much as I laugh to that, it's
no, that guy.
it's
George Lutz was, something of a scumbag, just
yeah.
trying to make some money on
Yeah.
this shit.
It's like, look, our meal ticket's written here.
Yeah,
If we just keep this up.
yeah,
But it was, pre-internet. It was pre all this. It was in the time where you could get away with this shit. Like they all did.
Yeah.
They all did.
and they even have a section where like he's like, my hand got smashed in the window, and then I look at it, it's like, bone on bone, and then like, all of a sudden it's just fixed. It's like, dude, you were so obviously the victim of like psychological abuse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, they literally have to drop that in the middle of the episode where they have psychotherapists like, listen, he's remembering stuff that's just not there.
Yeah.
And like,
Because that doesn't happen.
it doesn't happen. But then it's funny because when he starts talking, like, all right, he's the guy, right? He's just
Right.
a regular guy. And when he's not talking about stuff related to the case, he's this kind of like somewhat hard guy,
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah. It's
But
kind of tough.
yeah, but when you start talking about stuff that relates to the case, he reverts to this like 8 to 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's also an act.
I don't. You know what? I don't think that's an act. I actually think
Okay.
that he's like psychologically reverting.
Right,
to.
maybe. I mean, I hear a lot of that, and I see a lot of that in there. But I'm too quick, and I admit it. I'm too quick to be like, come on. Like,
No, I'm 100% right there, ready to go. Come on.
Yeah.
But then when the therapist sits down with them later on, he's like, I'm ready to move past it. It's like, look, man, you're fucking. He has like kids, and they're like, dude, I'm done with it. And they're like, it's like, dude, just come on, let's just move past this. You know, like, nobody believes your ghost story because there's so much bullshit around it. There's a book, there's a movie.
Yeah.
It's a literal franchise.
right.
Like, let's move past it.
Yeah.
All right. No one's gonna blame you.
Yeah.
You can blame
It's
George.
it's okay now.
Yeah.
It's okay now
Just say, look, they made me say that this shit happened. No one's gonna blame you. And I'm sorry I had to perpetuate this bullshit for so many years.
And that's the crazy thing is like that happens, man. Like
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing that like people actually can be convinced so hard because they're told of an issue
Yeah.
that this happens. And they'll go along with it. The human condition sucks a lot of times.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
But I mean do we have a little closing statements? Do we want to go further on this?
Well, I mean, it's. I think this is an important. I mean, if you're listening and this is like you've been listening with us from the beginning, I think this is an important one because this is the bullshit one. This is the one that like, because it's so much bullshit,
right.
that like, it was used to generate so much money that like it's important to talk about these ones because these are the ones that like diminish the ones that have actual merit.
Right.
You know, like
this is the mud in the water. This
muddies the water for sure.
Right. And look, I like I said a bunch of times, like there's mental health issues, and there's things that like people they kind of use this stuff as an out a lot of times, you know, like not just childhood trauma, but like childhood like hauntings and stuff. And it's like, man, just, you know, you got to step back. You got to like you got to try to learn to pull yourself out of all of that. And like with my shit, like, you know, like I didn't start having anxiety until I was 21. You know, until I was 21, I didn't have any, I was fine, you know. Lost my dad, you know, a bunch of people, and
our solar system is falling at a crazy rate.
Yeah, it is. I've come to peace with that in the last month. But more importantly, my feet is on this rock that's falling, and there's a lot of people that's feet that are on this rock that's falling that kind of use this stuff as an out to justify their, you know, their I don't want to say sickness, but their things. And this is coming from a guy that has, you know, some
people's
sort of
bullshit is as indefinable as the paranormal.
Right, exactly. So, but that's why it's so intertwined.
Sure.
So, I guess I'm going to say my closing statement is: look, if you have all these feelings and all this stuff with that you're imagining or feeling or think you're feeling something, step back and do some research on what you're looking at, to not just jump in and to believe something because you're like, oh, shit's going crazy for me.
Oh yeah, don't. Yeah.
That's I guess my closing statement is just like, look, guys, you know, everything happens with people. We're weird.
Yeah.
This crazy story that was made up by a bunch of people isn't.
I think we said in a previous episode that like this kind of stuff definitely attracts mental illness. Mm-hmm. So you got to be careful whenever you like delve into this stuff, because there's definitely going to be people who are there with their own, I don't know, undealt with issues that kind of folded into paranormal stuff.
Right. And they want to make you a part of their shit.
Yeah. Like, oh, are you going to believe this too? All right, well, get in here because, like, this demon totally just, you know, got into my life and, like, made me do this stuff. It's
and
like,
they go even crazier with stuff, and you're like,
yeah.
You know, but there are people out there that are looking so deeply for something to connect to that they're like, they latch on and they're like, no, and then they start the delusion themselves, and they have that combined delusion.
Well, thankfully, here at Other Dangerous Podcasts, we like to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yes.
And I think that might be my closing statement.
I love that.
You know.
I love that. And If you're having a hard day, we love you.
Oh.
that's the end of it.
We should just be called Having a Hard Day Podcast.
Yeah, right.
It's like, hey, having a hard day?
Yeah.
Come over here and listen to a ghost story.
Yeah, listen to a ghost story. If it's bullshit, we'll tear it apart.
Yeah.
And also, fuck
Like a
the
dog
Warrens.
with a newspaper.
I love fuck the Warrens became before that.
Hashtag fuck the Warrens. I'm going to add that to all our future posts.
Right. But, guys, for this episode of Other Dangers Podcast, I'm Ken James.
And I'm Jason McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening.
Thank you for listening to Other Dangers Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangers Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.